Okay. We're gonna try this one more time. Because I'm weird. So you might notice that Sally and I are wearing very similar dresses. I, once upon a time, was going to use this dress to make this dress, this Evil Queen dress, but that didn't work out. You should watch that video and figure out why. Actually, I'll probably tell you. But anyway, I'll leave a link up at the top and down below for my Evil Queen dress. But when I was making my Evil Queen dress, I actually tried on this dress with the intention of possibly using it to make this dress and just add on this little black top. But I'm too small. It's too small for me now. I made this dress in 2017. I believe 2017. And wore it up till like 2019. I only wore it for a couple years, and then I kind of thought it was dumb that I was wearing a dress that I always wore a black jacket on, because I just don't like my shoulders being shown off. And I thought it was dumb that I made a bunch of dresses that are straps that don't cover my shoulders, and then I wear jackets over the top of them. So I took this out of my rotation of clothes and put it in like my men need to upcycle, alter project pile, and never got around to it. So when I made Evil Queen, I thought, oh, this would be perfect. It's already done, it's complete, I just have to add the top. Yeah, it didn't work out. As I said before, I tried this on and realized when I was making my Evil Queen dress that this dress is too small. Somewhere between 2019 and now, I have gained some weight. Not a lot, but a bit. And I no longer fit in this dress. So since making the Evil Queen dress, I have sat and thought about how do I want to alter this dress so that A, it covers my shoulders, B, I will fit in it, and C, what I can do with what little scraps I have left. Because that's now the new challenge. This is all I have left of the scraps. Yes, I sewed the edges and washed it several times so that it can look worn just like the skirt. I've actually washed it a little too many times because it's a little more worn than the dress. Whoopsie. Did too good of a job. But anyway, I washed it several times because I made a dress or two dresses in the past that I altered it from the scraps I had and realized the scraps I had not been washed for the dress head several times, and it's kind of noticeable. So anyway, hopefully it won't be too noticeable now. So after thinking and thinking and thinking for months, I think I came up with a design that I will like and meets all those criteria. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pattern, which you'll probably see up there. Simplicity 688. I have used this pattern a couple times on this channel. I've used it once on making my blue and white pilgrim dress. It looks pretty much exactly like this. Or the big blue and white one up there. I've used it to make my blue and white pilgrim dress or gunny sack dress. I've also showed you how I alter this pattern to make my Snow White dress. I will probably be using the alters from this pattern, either the alters from this pattern or the exact same pattern. McCall's Costume M5731. When I got done making Snow White, I realized I already had the exact same pattern that I wanted for Snow White. So I'll either use this pattern top or this pattern top that I altered for Snow White. I'll either use one or the other to make this dress. So what I plan on doing is pretty much making it very similar to my blue and white gunny sack dress or the blue and white one you'll see up here. I'm going to take the top off from the bottom. I'm going to take this front panel, because this actually has multiple panels. I'm going to take this front panel off, and then I'm going to make, from my scraps, the purple top, and hopefully the purple puffy sleeves just like Snow White has, with a black strap on the bottom. And I say possibly because I don't think I have enough fabric to make the top and sleeves. I may not. We'll see. But we'll figure that out down the road. So at least get the top out of this. Hopefully some puffy sleeves. I doubt it, but we'll see. If I can get puffy sleeves, then I will do puffy sleeves like Snow White and then just do a black strap or black stripe. It's stripe. A black stripe down on the bottom where Snow White's is red, mine will be black. This time it will be black. And then I will do a black panel in the front. Instead of having a white lacy panel in the front, I will do a black panel here in the front. That way, I have scraps, I have this front panel scraps. That should be enough scraps to make the top, the top and the puffy sleeves. Hoping. And I have tons of black fabric that I can make the front panel with, so yeah! So that is the game plan. No, I am not going to make a mock-up because I've already used both of those patterns several times. Because I already told you what I made with this pattern. With this one, the McCall one, I have made what I call my vampire dress and my maid dress out of this pattern. So I already know what I need to do to not alter this one, and I already made alterations on this one. So between the two, I think I should be fine. I know, famous last words, because I only have scrap fabric to work with, and this might bite me in the butt to not do a mock-up, but I'm going to risk it. So I guess first things first, let's take this dress off of Sally and pretty much take it all apart. Quite literally take it all apart. So once I take it all apart, I'm going to lay all the pieces out, see where all the patterns match, and I'll probably bring you back at that point. Okay, I just want to put out there, holy crap, I lucked out. So this is the back and the front side of that Simplicity 6888 pattern. And they're the pattern pieces I modified to make the Snow White dress. This is that advanced pattern for the sleeve that I also used for Snow White. Oh, look how perfectly. It almost looks perfect over there. It's a little off. But anyway, I promise it fits all. But look how perfectly it all fits on my scrap little piece of fabric. I'm so excited. Okay. Well then, over here is what the black is going to look like. So I have it on the piece of fabric. It's actually kind of cool that it goes all the way across. Even though that's a bed sheet folded in half, and I don't need two of it. But anyway, I just think it's cool that it goes from one side to the other. So this is the front piece of the Snow White dress, or that some modified piece of the Simplicity 6888 pattern. And yes, I know it's supposed to be on the fold. We'll get there. We'll fold this in half and make it all work out. And then this is the front panel of the skirt of the purple dress. I took it all apart and laid it there. Yes, I want it that wide, and it's going to have to taper into being that small of a top. And yes, I know the top, it sticks out further than the bottom of the skirt, and I will just have to cut a smoother cut line instead of that jagged. And sorry, my camera keeps focusing on my finger. I don't mind my dirty fingernail beds. I was gardening. So the original looks like that, and I don't like how small that is. I want it to be big like the original, or what I had on the purple dress. So yep, that's what it's gonna all look like, and I'm so excited that it all fits. And I have all that fabric to spare. So super exciting! So I guess now it's time to cut them all out. I'm just so excited that they all fit in the scrap pieces, and I didn't run into any problems. It's exciting. And I get the puffy sleeve I wanted. It's so exciting. Oh, this looks weird. This feels weird. I'm not even sure how to film this. We'll see if this clip even makes it in. Okay. So I sewed the purple panel to the purple side panel to the purple back panel, even put the dart in the purple back panel, and then I base stitched the purple panel purple top panels onto the black front panel. I did this because I wanted to try it on and make sure that these top purple panels were cut out the way I like them, fit the way I like them to. Which means that even though I was wearing my PJs, I had to put my slip on, and then put the dress on, and then I tried the dress on, and I was like, oh, I should talk to you guys about this. But it looked so weird just to have this, and I felt really exposed. So I pinned the purple skirt pieces on, and now this is all looking really weird, and it feels really weird, and the scene's probably really weird. We'll see if it even makes it. But either way, I just wanted to let you know that I have tried the purple front pot. I have attached all the top pieces on. They are fitting okay. They don't look like they're fitting okay, but I promise you they're fitting okay. They're looking fine. Probably should have just shown you without pinning the skirt on and just been all exposed, but whatever. It's fitting fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpick this black panel on, and I'm going to attach the purple skirts. I'm going to put a gathering stitch in them, and I'm going to attach the purple skirts to the purple part of the dress on both sides, and then this whole black and purple line seam will be sewn next. And then I'll try the dress on again to make sure once again everything is fitting right and I like it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. It's really awkward, really confusing, but that's where I'm at. So I guess I will take this weird ensemble off and finish putting my PJs back on and unpick the front and reassemble this whole dress once again. This is weird. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. This is weird. Okay, so as you can see, I have sewed the skirt onto the top, which was a problem in itself, but we'll get to that. I've sewed the skirt to the top, and I have sewed the two purple sides to the front. And then I made one sleeve. I made one of the puffy sleeves, and it's a little trim. And I realized now trying it on, after doing all this, that we have a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Actually, some of these problems I knew before trying on. But we have a lot of problems. One is, all of a sudden the shoulder is like falling off gapey. Yes, I'm wearing my slip. It's like falling off gapey. I don't remember having this problem with Snow White in the slightest. So I don't know what happened there, but I definitely need to take in the top. Maybe I did do it with Snow White and I don't know. I'd have to go back and check the footage, but yeah, I definitely need to trim the top of this. Not trim it, sew that in, take that in. Which might alleviate another problem, which is, this is my natural waist. Just below the natural waist, I mean, technically if I go all the way down where it sits now, this is my natural waist. This is where the seam is at. For once in my life, I have too long of a top. So I have to take this all apart, literally take off the black part, take off the skirt to the top, and take it all up, which means that the black piece, like, I either need to recut it out and make it smaller, or be okay that it has like an inch gap on the bottom and just trim off an inch on the bottom seam here and just have it be a little bit longer, and which it might be the route I'm gonna go, because that seems the easier route, instead of recutting it with an inch smaller up here at the waist. Just let it flare out sooner. I don't know. I don't think it'd affect it too much if I do that, and it's the easier route. The other thing is, maybe once the seam is up a little higher, but I'm really not liking this puffy sleeve. It also keeps going flat, which is something I'm not a fan of. But I'm not liking the puffy sleeve. doesn't fit the style of the rest of the dress. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't fit the style of the rest of the dress. So I don't really like it. But I don't know, like part of me is like maybe if I fix the seam of the waist, it won't be as bad. But I'm also like, I don't really have that much more scrap fabric. I have pretty much what was the top of the original, because I need the front panel piece. Some of you may have caught on to this and didn't realize I didn't math things right. So, you know, I cut this out, which is the same as this, which means that the waist still would be too small for me, right? Yeah. Some of you probably caught on to that. So I ran into a bit of a problem. Now I'm going to unpin and be... I went to go connect the top to the skirt. And I don't know if you can see that, but I don't really want to take off the dress to show you. I have an 2-inch gap of the bodice and the skirt ending 2 inches away. Yeah, I can't, if I go and put the waist, see look, even if I turned around and showed you where the waists go together, I still need like an inch. So I need at least an inch more on each side, or half an inch more. No, probably an inch because I still have to have seam allowance for a zipper. But I still need more fabric to cover up that back 8 inch. And to try to get the skirt to match. To try to get the skirt to match the top of the bodice. So, I mean, this isn't really that bad of a problem. I have still the front panel. It hasn't ever been cut. Still one piece. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. Like so. Cut it. And then just stick it in either on the front seams or in the back. And that way, probably the back ones, because this is all straight line right here. This front little fold is straight, so it'd probably be better to put it on the back. But just add it onto the back of the skirt, and then that way I'll have that extra little bit that I need to close, to have more closure, because I need that. And yes, this top part is literally like 3 inches. And this is like 2 inches. So it is enough with seam allowance that it will probably be the exact same size, or if not a little bit more, and I can gather a little bit to get this to fit in and be the exact same that I need for the bodice. So that's how I'm going to fix that problem. Then I have the shoulder I need to fix, and then the waist. So either way, I have to take this whole ensemble apart just to add this extra panels in, shorten the waist, and then I don't know, and then I gotta figure out all this other problems. So so one more thing to think about. One more thing I wanted to talk about is the sleeve. I might also have a problem. The sleeve I might also have another issue with it. I'm already like on the fence of, I don't really feel like it fits the ensemble, but I might go a different route. Because while I was sewing through the sewing machine and attaching everything, I remembered that I actually own a black ruffle. There was a dress that I was going to add a black ruffle to at the bottom. I added it and absolutely hated it on the dress and took it off. So this is the ruffle that I made for the other dress. Like, it's miles and miles long. And it's gathered, well, it needs to be regathered and add to the bottom of the dress. So I'm thinking about adding this ruffle to the bottom of this dress and seeing what it looks like, because I think it would be really, really cute for this design. But I also feel like it's going to clash with this sleeve, which I got to figure out, do I want to keep this sleeve or do I want the ruffle? So I think I'm going to attach the ruffle and see how I feel. And then I guess decide from there what I want to go, what route I want to go. Just figure out what route I want to go. So that's what I'm going to hurry and do, is I'm going to hurry and pin this on and see if I like the ruffle and see if we want to go with the ruffle route or if we want to just keep the sleeve. Or maybe option number 3 is not do the ruffle and do a different sleeve. So as you can tell, so I have just pinned the ruffle on. I didn't sew it on, I just pinned it on like the front 3 panels. And I have thoughts and feelings, as always. I really do like the ruffle. I really think that was a great idea, smart idea. I just don't like it with the sleeve, and I'm still like not a big fan of this sleeve. So now I gotta figure out what to do. Like, can I find another sleeve pattern and cut it out of this sleeve? Will that even look cute? Should I go with a totally different sleeve pattern idea? I'm not sure. So I think I'm gonna just sit and think about this, maybe go look through all my pattern pieces and see what I have, see what might look good with the bottom ruffle. And I don't know, maybe I'll make a mock-up or 2 before I disassemble all this and reassemble it, and try the mock-ups of those sleeves on before doing that. I don't know. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to think about and a lot to do. So I think I'm just gonna take a break, think about this, contemplate the meaning of life, look at my patterns, come up with some creative problem-solving solutions, and I'll get back to you when I figure this out. Okay. So it's been a while. It's been about a week, so sorry if I don't remember what I've done. But if I remember correctly, I've undid everything and I shortened the waist, which I have to admit is a lot better. It's actually at my natural waistline. I have trimmed the hem. I trimmed and made it all evenish. Didn't really care if it was perfect or not. And then I added the ruffle to the bottom because I did like the ruffle. And I fixed the things up here, the shoulders. And that's where I left off, and that's been like a while, so I knew I needed to work on sleeves. And I remember I didn't like this sleeve last time I tried it on. I couldn't remember why I didn't like the sleeve. I just remember I didn't really like the sleeve. And so I was like, okay, instead of having this trim on the bottom, what I can do is also like an inch up from the bottom and make that a gather, and maybe it'll look cuter, which is what I did here. And I just pinned it on. It's actually not sewed on. And I pinned it on and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I really like this. And then I was happening to walk around on my floor in my office, and I saw I had some black strips of fabric on the floor, some just scrap fabric strips. So I took one and I folded it up and, pleated it randomly. Pleated it up and stuck it in this arm's eye, thinking, oh, it would be a cute sleeve, you know, just have a little ruffle here to match the ruffle on the bottom. I don't really like it. So, and I have this one still pinned on when I had this one pinned on, you know, kind of like it is now. And then I realized I had some more scrap fabric. So I was like, okay, why don't I make this one and put it on here on the bottom? So let me hurry and do that, and I'll bring it right back. I'm pinned on the bias tape to the bottom. Still not liking this sleeve. I think the biggest part of this sleeve I don't like is how like flat it keeps going, and how big it is. I'm thinking about possibly shorting it, making it shorter. Anyway, then I also had one more piece of scrap fabric, so I kind of made a little, pinned some little ruffles, and was like, here, let's try putting it down there. So you, once again, you know, ruffle the bottom, ruffle to the sleeve. And I kind of like this. Like, this is the best option out of all of them. But I'm still just like, meh. I think maybe if I shorten the puff and, like I said, make it a shorter sleeve, maybe I would like it. I don't know. I figured I'd show you all these options before I go my one last hurrah. And I grabbed some purple scrap fabric. Yes, I know it's not like the same color purple, but this is like my favorite short sleeve pattern, and I already made it, so now that I've shown you these ones, I can try putting it on and see if I like it. And then once again, I could possibly do like the same thing, put a gather on the bottom, see if I like a bias tape on the bottom before gathering, after gathering, or gathering the bottom and putting on a ruffle. So I still have a lot of ideas. So let me try putting this one on, seeing what I think about it, and then other options with the bottom. And I guess we'll go from there, because I don't know what else to do with sleeves. Yeah, I have no idea what sleeve I like. So here's my favorite sleeve with the ruffle on the bottom, kind of gathered on the bottom, and putting in the ruffle on the bottom, and I don't like it. Which also makes me really concerned about like the other sleeve and shortening it and seeing if I like that, because if I didn't like it with this, probably won't like it when it actually is shortened. Anyway, and then here's what it's like when it's in its normal state, which oddly enough never looks this terrible on any other dress, but it looks awful on this dress. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what route to go. I think I'm gonna try all the sleeves on a million times and look in the mirror and figure out what I want to do. Because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll bring you back when I figure out what I'm doing with the sleeve situation, because I have no idea. I have no idea where to go from here. Okay, I think I figured it out. I took those little extra strips and made them into bias tapes. Just hurry and fold them and iron them. And then pinned them on. First I did this side, and I really, really liked it. But I kind of still wanted to keep the ruffle because it matches the ruffle on the bottom. So I hurried and put bias tape on this side, and I kind of now like the ruffle. I still kind of like this side, but I also like the ruffle because it like makes it all cohesive. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a ruffle sleeve. I'm going to probably make it really small down here, like pointed, and then a little bit wider, maybe like an inch wider, I don't know, make it a bit wider up here, and so it'll be like a big whoosh shape, and then probably like twice the size of the arm size so I can gather it kind of densely. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make one of those, put that on, see how I like that, and with the bias tape, and then I guess I'll be moving forward and making that a sleeve and putting the bias tape on and figuring out what I'm gonna do with this neckline, if I want it to have the bias tape too, or if I want to fold it down into a heart shape, or a sweetheart neckline, or a square neckline, and put a zipper in, and then I think we're pretty much done. So I gotta figure out what ruffle I gotta figure out how to make this ruffle, make this weird long shape for a ruffle sleeve, and then make some better bias tape, because this is weird bias tape that I just made out of scraps. So I think I know what I'm doing, and I think I can move forward. Yay, finally. So up here at the top is the first sleeve that I made, or first set of sleeves that I made. And I kind of just chose arbitrary numbers to make the sleeve. I just kind of threw out some numbers. What I did do is I had measured with my fabric ruler that's over there. I had measured the inside of the arm side, which was 16 inches.
I doubled that because I thought, hey, that would be a good gather amount. And so that length right there at the bottom is 32 inches. And then I just chose like 5 inches at the middle. So at the 16-inch mark, I did the 5 inches up. And then at the end, I decided to go half the amount, which was 2.5, but I didn't like the number 2.5. It's not pretty, so I round up to 3. So it's 3 inches at the end, 5 at the top. And then I hemmed it, sewed the ends, gathered it, put it in the sleeve, and it's that sleeve over there, which is great, but I didn't like it. So we went back to the drawing board. I liked the first little test sleeve I had. I liked how short it was. I hated how long and wide that sleeve was. It was ugly. I didn't like how it stuck off my shoulder. But I liked the test sleeve I had. I liked how tight and gathered it was. I liked how short it was. So I measured it. And it was 2 inches wide. So I decided to add an extra inch just for the hem. And then the seam allowance. And when it was all gathered, it was 9.5 inches. When it was all stretched out and ungathered, it was 26 inches. So if you do the math, 26 divided by 9.5 is 2.8. And I didn't like 2.8. It's not a pretty number, so I round up to 3. So that will be the 3 times the gather of the arm's eye. So 16 inches times 3 would be 48 inches. Nice, pretty 48 inches of gathering. Husband didn't like that, so he did his math. And he did the 9.5, which is when it was all gathered, over the 26, which is when it's all stretched out. My arm's eye is 16, and when it would be, so that would be when the thing is all gathered, it will be 16 inches. And we want to know how long it should be, so if you do 26 times 16 equals 416, and then you do that over 9.5 and equals 43.7. Once again, I didn't like that, and I tested my math, and mine actually equaled 44.8, but still they're not pretty numbers. 48 is a pretty number. I like that, so that's what I went with. So we have right here, it's folded in half, but we have 48 inches, and then halfway through, which is right there, I went the 3 inches up, because remember, seam allowance and hem. And then at the end, I did a 1 inch. It's a little over 1 inch, but it's 1 inch. I promise it's supposed to be 1 inch. But it's 1 inch right there at the end, so that when I have it all hemmed and gathered, it's just a itty bitty little hem sticking up, or not gathered, when I have it all sewed, seam allowance and the hem. It should just be the itty bitty little hem sticking out on this end. And I tested that out, and that is this sleeve. And it is so much more, you can't even tell compared to the other one. It's so much shorter. It's way more gathered. It looks so much cuter. I enjoy this one so much more than the other one. So now I get to assemble that sleeve and take off this one and put it on that side. And then I have the neckline and zipper, and I'm done. Anyway, I just, thought I'd explain the sleeve math for anybody who was curious on how the sleeve math works. Okay, I apologize for the audio if it's not great or anything. My husband got me a new mic, and I'm testing it out for the first time. and I would clip it onto me, but I also need to talk about this area of the dress. Also, sorry if you hear loud thunder. It is like 5 seconds away from raining. Actually, that one's pretty quiet. Yeah, it's like 5 seconds away from raining. It's been threatening this whole entire time to rain. I've been hearing thunder and lightning, or seeing lightning, hearing thunder, having some sprinkles on and off. So let's see how fast I can do this. I actually really like this dress. It's fun to move around in. It's really kind of breezy in the arm. I'm still not quite sure if I want more arm coverage or not, because this is the most exposed I've had my shoulders in a while. But yeah, it still covers out on my whole entire shoulders and everything. I don't know if I like the belt or not. I kind of like last second was like, oh, I wonder if a belt would look good with this. So I grabbed my black ribbon to try it out. You'll see, and you probably saw in the review, sometimes I'm wearing this, sometimes I'm not. I'm gonna take it off so in case you didn't see it, you can see what it looks like now. It's one of those, like, I feel like it could go either way. So I think I'm not going to sew on a belt. I'm just always going to use the sash, and if I want to, I can use it. If I don't, then it's okay. I just feel like it could go either way. I do have a problem with the neckline, the sweetheart neckline. This side, I know I full lumped while sewing. This side, it's, ooh, my heel just sunk into the ground. This side, I feel like the black got like stretched out or something. It is bias tape on the bias. I checked and double checked, but I don't know. It's just sticking a little out, and it's only right where the bias tape goes. So I need to finagle with this part. Mostly I know this side I sewed wrong. I could totally tell I sewed wrong. On that, I like the dress. I like how flowy it is. I love the ruffles on the bottom and the ruffles on the top, and it fits and everything. So from being a dress, which I'm sorry I didn't take any before pictures, I kind of totally spaced it till I took this whole thing apart and was like, I'm not sewing it back together for that. Considering how it was before, and I always wore a jacket and it was apparently too tight and I gained some weight, I like how it's not so snug now. I mean, it's snug, but it's not like I can't breathe. I can, and I have room to bend and wiggle. And I like the ruffles and how playful it is, and that it covers my shoulders, and I don't need to wear accessories unless I want to make it cuter, not accessories to make myself feel comfortable. I should have done that in the first place, but you know, I was young, naive, I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you like the ruffle or not. I wonder if you can hear me over the thunder. Not the ruffle. Let me know if you like the sash or not, because I'm a little indecisive, because part of me likes it, part of me doesn't like it. I can feel like it can go either way. Back in English, I'm nervous because of this thunder and lightning. I feel like the sash could go either way. But yeah, I like the dress. I also kind of made the reveal a little Halloween-y because it's August and I want to celebrate Halloween in August. So I do have my witch's hat in a couple of the scenes. I don't know if those got put in or not. But it does feel very witchy and very Halloween-y, and I feel like Kiki too, because I have my cute little bow and she wears a dress similar to this. It's like a darker purple, but I feel like I need a little black cat, and then I could be Kiki. I don't know what else to say, and it sounds like the rain's about to come, so, and there's that thunder again. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get the little bell notification and all that fun jazz. And I will see you in my next video, which actually will be Halloween-y. And then I will get on to my fun secret project, which will be the whole month of September will be my fun secret project. So stay tuned for those videos, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Oh, I need shoes. Excuse me, Mr. Fly. Those are my shoes. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, great. And this one has an ant.
I just popped that stupid clip in the back. I hate it when I do that. Okay. I'm sorry I forgot to take before photos, but anyway, it says Ohio.